All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. My name is Wayne Dupree. It is Tuesday, June 13th, 12:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a couple hours away from President Donald Trump being arrested and arraigned in Miami. I have to say that because that's what's getting ready to happen once again. Let me introduce my awesome conservative panel. The Godfather of Conservative Radio, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Hello, Wayne. Hello, Jason, and ladies and gentlemen of the massive viewing audience.
That's right, massive. What is wrong with my color here? And ladies and gentlemen, let me also introduce Mr. J.R. Robbins.
Hey, folks, especially those tuning in from Florida. Be careful out there. Today's going to be a wild day.
You're being set up.
You are being set up.
Once again. And you know what? If you are watching right now and you are in Florida, and you know what, too? Let me say this. I'm not a punk. I'm not afraid. Y'all have seen us on the front lines. You've actually seen us literally on the front lines. I didn't go to DC for a reason. I didn't go to Florida for a reason. If it smells funny, you let your intuition say, okay, you stay your ass home, you cover it from wherever you are. Because, you know, Hutch, JR, I thought about it a whole lot more this morning before I put it out. I was like, you know how many people say that the FBI was inside J6, just sprinkled.
It's been proven.
And I'm being conservatively. They were sprinkled in J6, right?
Numerous agencies.
That's how it always is, though. The FBI is sprinkled all the time, and
they've been doing it for decades.
You know what I'm saying?
Ask the Black Panthers.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I thought about that this morning too. I was like, well, damn, the Black Panthers too. Yeah.
Martin Luther King.
They took him down. You know what I'm saying?
KKK.
I mean, you have to know the FBI was along that route somewhere. You can't get off a shot and get away. I mean, it's the president of the United States. You can't get off a shot and get away. You can't. Okay. So, I was like, there's going to be some FBI in Florida today.
That guaranteed there is. White supremacist FBI agents. And you know who else is going to be there? Antifa.
Right.
FBI dressed as Antifa. And by the way, the FBI is inside of Antifa too.
You know they are.
That's probably why, man. Come on, people. Wake up.
This is an historic time right now. We're living history.
It is.
We are living history right now, man. The freaking military is recruiting non-English speaking immigrants.
Really?
Because they've destroyed the army so badly, the military so badly, that no men want to join it.
I know.
I would never join it now.
Me neither. I wouldn't either. Nope. Go ahead, Jay. What?
Well, I was going to say, so last night I had friends that were heading down there and they were like taking pictures of what, and everybody's like, be careful. And like there's pallets of bricks in downtown Miami that magically showed up for construction projects. Again, like how many times do you need to see this? And then it sounds like from folks that are there today, they're like, at least in New York, they had like barricades and stuff set up to keep it like separated and safe and that kind of thing. And it sounds like in Miami, there's not that much like crowd control stuff set up.
No. I watched them yesterday. I watched those police, the sheriff and the mayor, and actually it pissed me off because I was like, but we aren't the ones that go around destroying stuff.
Right.
Why are you saying, oh yeah, we're ready? The
mayor said that. The mayor's Republican.
Right. He said, we're ready. Really?
We'll find
ready
out.
For what?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Really? You ready?
They said that like they're expecting 50,000 people. Man.
I saw that.
They're coming from Minnesota, for Christ's sake. He just told you. That's a long run.
Yeah.
That's a long run, boy.
there's a lot of people that are very passionate about this, and I myself am enjoying my time in Minnesota. I really don't want to be locked up in a federal penitentiary.
I don't either.
I don't want to. I'll tell you the truth. And I've been to D.C. several times with Wayne. I ain't never going back there. They're not getting my picture. They're going to have to get it on a screenshot.
Right.
I'm not walking down the street and some prosecutor pulls up a picture of me out in front of the deli.
Hey, believe me, they already got you.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, look, watch this. They're looking at you right now, right through that webcam. They're looking at you, man.
Shame on you. I say that to all of them. Shame on you. Yeah. If you're wearing a government gun, shame on you.
Yeah. But you know what? Maybe this maybe that's their indoctrination, because again, you have to swear allegiance to these departments. Many people don't know that. Well, you have to swear allegiance to the United States, but there's somewhere in those oaths where you have to swear some type of allegiance to that department too, for the betterment of what you call it and stuff. It's gangs, man. It's gang cult gangs type of stuff, and believe me, they watch out for each other. They take out for each other too.
And they will not hesitate to get the equipment out. Will not hesitate.
Oh man, no, please. President Trump is gonna be arraigned. As a matter of fact, I had some. Oh yeah, here it is. He's gonna leave Doral Resort in Miami. That's number one. To travel to the Wilkie D. Ferguson Jr. Courthouse in downtown Miami. He's going to arrive at the courthouse, where he will likely go through the underground tunnel. Then he will be booked and fingerprinted and processed, but will not be jailed or posed for a mugshot. Then he will appear in court. It is unclear whether he will enter a plea. Cameras will not be allowed. Then Trump lawyers may ask for charges to be immediately thrown out, from which I heard that they probably will. Ex-president will leave the court and head to Miami International Airport, where he will fly to Bedminster, New Jersey, for a speech tonight at 8:15.
What, me worry?
Surprised he doesn't have a round of golf worked in there,
Yeah. And Nikki Haley and Tim Scott came out against Donald Trump, and you know what? Too, I'm not mad, and I tell you why.
I'm not either.
I'm not mad at them for coming out, because it's politics. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and they and the media and the way the media is talking about it, they kind of flip flop, if you want to call it that, because they aren't doing it as much or as heavy as the media wants them to. So that but
one by one.
It's only strengthening him up. It's only strengthening Trump's name throughout the nation.
Chris Rock nailed it. Chris Rock nailed it right on the head. He said, "You put Tupac Shakur in prison, he's going to sell more records."
Right. Yeah, you're right. And as a matter of fact, during that time, many people did stuff so they could get put in jail, so that would give them street cred.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know how they do it up there in Muslim soda, but
you got to slap a woman.
Right.
Fix my bean pie. So
we don't wear watches up here.
No, but I mean, it's Christy had a town hall on CNN last night.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch it. As a matter of fact, I went to sleep early last night. Yeah.
Created that show pretty late.
I've been up since about 2 or 3 this morning. So.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I've been up. So. Yeah. What'd you say again?
I said, "Oh Jesus, that's early."
Oh no, I thought I said something about.
I get up at 5.
Yeah, I said that you created the show pretty late.
Right.
I'm looking at that going, man, I got to get him a bottle of scotch or something.
I know. I was like, I woke up
and I never look at that. I just looked at it today for some reason.
Yeah, I was like, I went to sleep and then I woke up about 1:30. I was like, oh man, haven't done my shows. I know I haven't done my stories, haven't done my videos, and I haven't done the show. Here we go. And I was like, here we go. It's like old times, man, old times. But yeah, I mean, and thinking and going back over briefly, going back over to some of the stuff that we were talking about yesterday about the situation, and I've had time to reflect. I'm not taking back anything I said yesterday, anything that I say right now. I'm glad, honestly, I'm glad Carrie Lake is out there. I'm glad that some people are out there. There's still some people that are giving misinformation about certain things in trying to pick up followers on social media and whatnot. You're not doing Donald Trump a bit of good. And actually, and I have to say this before we get too much into the program, because we're following my man Hutch Bailey's template from the beginning of the year, calling people out. The reason why I call out Turning Point USA, yeah, I'm back on them again, because I saw another conference. And to me, I'm tired of goddamn conferences.
It's a moneymaker.
I'm tired of the circuit, on the speaker circuits. If you can't get out there with all those kids that you got signing up, flying into town and going to some of these conferences, if you can't get them on the street signing up non-voters and registering non-voters, if you can't get that, shut them down. Y'all, Turning Point has been doing this for years. Y'all have had an operation. You're making millions of dollars, and
million.
Other than, and check this out. You didn't get Donald Trump elected in 2016. He got his own self elected in 20. Y'all didn't do that. Again, y'all didn't do that. That was him. That was him walking the streets of Detroit. That was him getting attacked and standing up for MAGA. That was him going around to having those big rallies and stuff. That was him, not Turning Point. So before Trump and after Trump, y'all haven't done anything. You haven't done anything. That's why I said a couple months ago. That's why I said Scott Presler didn't need to be in charge of Turning Point USA.
Yes.
You know what I thought when I saw that? When I saw that article, it reminded me when they showed how much money they made, and they're at the Gaylord. I forget what city it's in, but they're at another Gaylord.
They love the Gaylord.
Well, see, the thing about it is they're exactly like the RNC to me.
Yeah.
What's the difference? They're going out $80 million for what?
Yeah, for what? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. For what? You don't have, what's the ROI? You know about ROI, Jay. Yeah, and Hutch, you know about ROI, return on investment. What's the return on investment? Right. I mean, now, don't let me show up in your community and find out where you live and start taking pictures, because then you're going to get your feelings hurt. Because I know some of y'all are living in gated communities right now, living off the people that you, these donations that you. Am I jealous? No, I'm not jealous. I'm mad.
I want them to do something.
Yeah, because we should be farther along as a movement than we are right now. Look, I understand y'all making conservative means for an echo chamber. Okay, great. But you're not registering anybody on a mass. Y'all are in every state.
They ought to go into some inner city and build a boys club or something.
Why not? Yes.
Go to swimming pool, man.
Yes.
Well, and I think it depends on how you're going to market your company. Like Daily Wire, we know is, or the Blaze, or those kind of things. Like they're designed to be a money-making venture that produces conservative content. Turning Point USA, from what I understand, it was kind of founded as like an activist on-campus organization. And, that was kind of what their mission was supposed to be. So, yeah, they totally should be way more involved in actually moving the needle on that stuff.
Activists for on campus. And all I've seen them do is make fun of liberals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Where's the money get spent? The Gaylord?
Right. Yeah. And well, the speaker circuit too. I mean, they got some big time people coming in almost every time.
Well, there's a place for that. Like, get people out there, get them speaking on campus. But then, what are you going to do to convert that? Because those Democrat organizations that have speakers on campus, there's registration, there's voting push, there's all kinds of stuff.
They pass turkeys out,
Right.
I mean,
they have registration. Look, if one of their major many singers or events have registration signups.
Yep.
Okay. Turning Point USA makes a whole lot more money that they could do that almost at every place too. They could have conservative. No. Well, I mean, if you don't want to label it conservative, you don't have to label it political, but you could sign up people at various places, but that's just me kicking the soapbox because before Donald Trump got elected, I kept saying I didn't leave I don't know if you remember this. I said this for a long time. I didn't leave the Democrat Party to lose every goddamn election. You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear what Chris Christie said the same thing about Trump?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he said that.
All you ever did is lose since 2016. Loser, loser, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Chris.
He picked certain things about Donald Trump and called Donald Trump a loser. But see, my problem with that is I have this is where you lose credibility with me forever. If you blame Donald Trump for the $1 trillion money raising and you don't put Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell in there, you ain't serious.
That's right.
If you are complaining about judges and stuff like that Donald Trump put up, but they could never get over the finish line, and you not put Mitch McConnell's name in there for slowing that roll and stuff, then you're not serious. Many things that have happened. Chris Christie said, yeah, and we lost the House in 2018. If you blaming Donald Trump for 50 people leaving the Republican House to even give a chance for Democrats to win those seats so they could impeach him twice, and you're gonna blame it on Trump, you're not serious. You can't be serious, but they're putting everything on Donald Trump. Now, you want to use that, well, the buck stops with the president. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then why even hire people?
Ask Boehner about that. Ask John Boehner about the buck stops here.
Right.
He let Obama skate for freaking 8 years.
Yep. And then right before he left, I'm talking about Boehner. Right before he left, he gave Obama a blank check for about a year and a half or 2 years to write whatever he wanted to spend his money on.
And what else did he do? He made Trey Gowdy the oversight committee chairman.
Yep.
Because he was the best actor in the bunch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's a split between MAGA and the Republican Party. And when MAGA took over, when Trump took over, I mean, think of how many things would have been simple. You could have sent a one-issue bill for building the wall. Here's $5 billion. There it is. Sign it. Done. House, Senate, to President Trump in a day. And that's what Democrats are really good at doing. They're way better than us.
Yeah, but we do it to ourselves.
Right. That's what I mean.
We're part of that. We sabotage it. It's on purpose.
Right.
If nothing else, folks, if you don't get anything else out of this tumultuous 10 years, please understand the Republican Party's a fraud.
Yep.
And I'm not going to back down from that either.
I'm not even, no.
Every one of those candidates is bashing Trump except for Ramaswamy.
Right.
Yeah.
Pompeo, all of them. Nikki Haley, Christie, all of them. It's just Asa Hutchinson. It's sickening. It's sickening to watch, folks. I pray that you see that.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to say, I did a little bit of deep diving on that, a little deeper diving on the Trump indictment, just because it was entertaining. And so I went back and I was looking at articles because there was they weren't widely reported, but they were on like CBS and NBC and whatnot, talking about the conflict between Trump and the National Archives. And you can go on there, look at articles. It was back in 2021 before any of this really got going. And like there's public testimony and a lot of reporting on it. And they're talking about the confidential documents are like personal letters from Xi Jinping and communication like that. Like that was what I found, like 15, 20 pieces mentioned of the classified documents. And it's just correspondence between Trump and world leaders that technically fall under a high classification. That's why they weren't reported in like the subpoena, how they just kind of keep them high level, like, oh, high level communication between world leaders. Yeah, it was like notes back and forth that Trump was keeping for his memoir. Like that's in the testimony. It's there. You can go read it.
You know, did you see the other thing where this has been a setup, believe it or not, since way back then. Apparently President Trump is the first president that the federal government didn't assist in archiving his documents.
Yep.
Get out.
They had. I saw a picture, and I don't know if it's AI or not, but we're going to have to say that after everything anymore. But there's a picture of like 20 boxes of documents just dumped in the parking lot. You know, nobody helped them or nothing. Yeah,
usually National Archives would send somebody over to like log it and register it. They
make
didn't
sure everything's right, and they didn't even help the guy, man. They've been this government hates you guys.
The other thing that's fascinating is the one part that I really didn't like about the Trump indictment was the part about where he had the top secret attack plan that he was showing whoever. Like that part really bothered me. Like, oh my God, Trump could be in trouble with this. Well, I went back and I found the interview was from 2011 with a writer that is writing ghostwriting Mark Meadows' memoirs or his book or whatnot, his chief of staff or whatever job he had. And when you read it and he's talking about like, see, this exonerates me, that kind of thing, they put it in the indictment like he was talking about the classified documents, when in fact, like this all happened before the classified documents. What he was talking about in the interview, I believe, from what I've been able to find, I still want to see the full interview, is he was talking about how the military leaders, specifically Miley, were testifying in front of Congress and talking online about how Trump was going to start a war with Iran. And it sounds like the plan he had in his hands is Miley put together a plan to attack Iran. See, these are what these guys are bringing to me. Can you believe this stuff? And that's what he was talking about. And Miley actually testified in front of Congress that he never put plans like that together and that sort of thing. But it's like, oh, this makes a lot more sense. He's given an interview talking about how he's having to fight against his own cabinet, wanting to start wars everywhere. And then when you read that snippet, you're like, oh, yeah, he's talking about this proves my point. Not about classified documents, but about like these people are warmongers that just want to start wars everywhere. So I'll be really curious when that full interview comes out and the documents come out.
Speaking about that, did you see the 22 servicemen injured in the helicopter crash in Syria?
Yeah.
And it didn't take fire. It just, something just happened to the helicopter.
It's probably a woke pilot or something. I'm not going to get on them. They're dead.
My thing is, what the hell are they still doing in Syria?
Indeed.
That's Lindsey Graham's baby right there.
I know soldiers that went to Latvia recently.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
It don't make sense. It don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. You said that's first time in history. What again? The U.S. government didn't help.
There's usually a transition team that helps an outgoing presidential administration with their classified documents. I imagine more than just the president, but that for him, you know, because of the nature of the documents, doesn't it look like a setup? Well, let's just let him do that. He'll mess something up. He'll forget to dot an I or cross a T, and we'll get him down the road. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're supposed to have like a manifest, just like if you paid a mover. So like move your house, like you'd have to check everything off, and there'd
in
be
the military. We had that,
yeah.
We had that in the military. But I mean, either and another thing that I was thinking about this morning, another thing that they're doing, as much as we were bringing up Hillary Clinton, JR does this a lot. As much as we bring up Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, as much as we bring up the inconsistency of the justice. The media kept saying, "Oh, here we go again. They're bringing up those talking points. They're, those things have been settled already. I don't even know why they're bringing it up. They haven't been settled." And I'll tell you why they haven't been settled. Because, well, actually, the Hillary Clinton thing, she deleted 35, 40,000 emails. That's obstruction of justice, y'all. That's what they're trying to get Donald Trump on right now, obstruction of justice. That's what she did. And nothing happened. As a matter of fact, she got a sweet ass deal talking to the FBI. I think it was the FBI. She worked in what do they call immunity for both of her aides before both of her aides sat down to talk to the FBI. Imagine that. Immunity.
Well, and connect the dots too, Wayne. At the same time, she was being investigated for emails and all that stuff, destroying evidence. By the way, all those emails showed up on Anthony Weiner's laptop with the kiddie porn, just so you know. And that's facts. Like, everybody feel free to fact check me. But at that same time, she was feeding them the Russian dossier, and they were eating it hook, line, and sinker. Those two things were happening simultaneously, which is kind of wild. You
remember she sat in front of Congress for all those hours. I was like, this is a show, but I understand why she's doing it, because she's trying to show how strong she is. She and I sat in front of Congress for 14 hours and answer questions. And oh man, here we go. And then Joe Biden. I remember what's it? Byron Donalds was on CNN earlier this morning. He was like, "I'm in the House. I can't take secret documents to my house,
right?
Or I would be in trouble." Why was a senator, Biden, allowed to take documents to his house in the 70s or 80s, and then he forgot him, and then he left him there and forgot him, and nobody checked out. What's the National Archives? They didn't. Hey, Joe, you got these documents? Where are they?
Right.
What's going on?
See, the way they do it, they knew Biden was a crook, so they just got evidence on him early on in the 70s or 80s. And now they own him the rest of his career.
Right.
That's why they put him in as president. He'll do whatever the hell they tell him to do.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah, they don't mind you breaking the law,
right?
If they can leverage that against you. Like, I mean, that's completely okay. That fits their MO. And I mean, just to clarify my opinion, I don't think President Trump prosecuted Hillary Clinton, because there has been kind of a standing agreement against the political class, right, wrong, or otherwise, since Gerald Ford with President Nixon, that unless something was like treason level, they weren't going to prosecute their political opponents because of the damage that would do to the country. That's why Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon, even though it cost him the election against Carter. And that's been every time when charges haven't been brought. You can agree or disagree, but that's kind of been the protocol. Like, if you didn't commit treason, we're not going to charge you.
Even
and
if
President Trump's the first. What's that?
Even if you commit treason. I mean, look at some of the stuff Obama did.
Right.
And Clinton. And really George W. Bush.
And that's why Reagan didn't go after Carter with the Iran crisis and those,
The problem is that before we used to settle it at the ballot box.
That's what we used to.
But when you have what's going on now, and you got Joe Biden getting 81 million votes, it's over.
Right.
And now you try to throw your political opposition in prison. I mean, think about that. This is the beginning of a new era. We've got like one more shot.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Wayne Dupree podcast here on the Red Voice Media Network. Don't go anywhere. We're getting ready to take our first break, but don't go anywhere because we got more. President Trump is due to be arrested, and released on his own recognizance. And then he has a he's going to be speaking tonight, I guess. So you probably look online to look at those. Maybe, you know what?
Don't tune into Fox News, folks. There's way too many of you still watching that.
Did you see the ratings, though?
But it's still over a million. You know, it's too many.
Right.
It's millions. It's millions watching it. And honestly, it's going to pick up during the election. I mean, people are people. People are people. But you know what? Let's talk about that on the other side of the break. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Biden and his cronies have lost over $3 trillion of America's retirement savings in 2022 alone. With inflation running rampant and the stock market crashing, do you have a plan to protect your wealth? Our friends at American Alternative Assets help you protect your retirement savings by rolling over your IRA or 401k into a gold IRA. Fact is, you can hold physical gold and silver in your retirement account while maintaining its tax-deferred status. Visit protectfrombiden.com today to get your free wealth protection guide. This guide will give you all the answers you need. American Alternative Assets is an A+ and accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Protect your savings now before it's too late. Visit protectfrombiden.com. Individual results may vary. There is no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. It's a crazy world out there, and we're facing more uncertainty than our country has faced in a long time, if ever. And the most important advice that we can give you and your loved ones is be prepared. Most people don't realize they need something until it's too late, whether it's a natural disaster, a sustained power outage, political upheaval, or God forbid, war. You need to be prepared. Don't put yourself in that situation. Have food and water on hand to provide for you and your loved ones during the worst of times, and then pray you never need it. Thankfully, we have just the solution for you. Heaven's Harvest has everything you need to prepare for the unexpected. You get prepared, and you support a pro-America Christian company that shares your values at the same time. Everyone wins. And the best news is you also get discounts on emergency survival foods, heirloom vegetable seed kits, water filtration and storage kits, and loads of other survival resources, such as guides on how to grow and preserve your foods. So get ahead, be prepared, and survive with a company that shares your values. And we have you covered with great discounts. Go to heavensharvest.com and use promo code RVM to save 10%. Again, that's heavensharvest.com and use promo code RVM to save 10% on your order.
Back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I was trying to do some magic just a while ago and get that. I don't know whether you watched the whole thing yesterday. I came up on that press conference by the Miami mayor and the sheriff because I didn't know that they were doing it. But then when I came up, I was like, okay, well, what's this? And then when I started listening to him, I was like, okay, that's a great title for the show because I don't see us as that yet. I don't see us as that threat to destroy America from within. I really don't. I see us trying to get it back on even keel or to fix the boat to make it go in the right direction. Because right now the boat is sideways. As a matter of fact, it's going sideways, turning backwards to go backwards instead of forwards. And I think that we have, I think we have the platform. I think we have the know-how. I think we have the success rate to make this country go forward as adults. Yes, you can play. You can, you don't have to play all the time. And I think that's where a lot of people in today's world, I think that's where their mind is. They want to play all the time. They don't want to work. They don't want to put the cart to the mule and work. They want everything instant. They want it done. They want it now. They don't want to sacrifice. And but we are not dangerous. I want to say this. I mean, I got to say it again. We're not dangerous. And the media is been putting it out there. Well, we're ready. Oh, we don't know a lot of things going on and stuff. I'm like, y'all making it sound like we're goddamn terrorists, man.
For 5-6 years, they've been doing it.
That's crazy, right?
That's why I said that about the military. These freaking officers have gone through training for 10, 20 years, learning to hate white people and Christian people and anybody that's patriotic or anything. That's why I said that colonel's going to do it, because he's had that in his mind ever since he's been in uniform. This is a long plan. This is not just Joe Biden doing this. This has been going on for a while, and the ultimate goal is to get rid of us,
right?
As any kind of decision makers. You know, I'm not saying they're going to kill us all, but they would if they could.
Yeah, they would.
And that's projection. What you're talking about, them calling us, that's what they are.
Right.
You want to see the most dangerous people in this country right now? The trannies. Trans-Tifa. I see one beating the heck out of a guy yesterday.
Trans-Tifa.
Grabbed his freaking throat and everything. I'm telling you, these people, they released that woman's autopsy results from that Christian school shooting, but they still haven't released a manifesto.
Right.
And you know what, too? I mean, this happened in a school. I think it was last month that the transmissioner in the school beat up the girl in the girl's bathroom.
I saw that too.
And it's
a serious thing.
It is.
Well, let's put it in perspective. You take somebody that's got some mental problems. They think they're in the wrong body or whatnot. You pump them full of hormones. You start cutting parts of them off, doing surgery on them. And then everybody from the president on down says your life's in jeopardy. You're being hunted. So you're telling that to somebody that's not mentally stable. And then you're suddenly shocked that they like act out or act the fool or do whatever. Like, this is just a bad formula.
One of the most pathetic things I ever saw happen yesterday.
What was that?
The freaking White House lawn turned into a freaking XXX rated disgusting.
Yeah, did you see that?
You know what?
That's disgusting. Anybody associated with that ought to be.
It is.
Removed.
Yeah, they put the flag
unreal,
right in front of the White House. And
there was a dude flashing his fake boobs.
Yeah,
right.
I heard that. I didn't see it, but
I didn't see it either. I read it. No need for graphics on that one.
I read the articles. I don't want to look at the picture.
Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah,
you can smell the funk coming off that article.
Yeah, this is that Miami press conference.
In our city, we obviously believe in the Constitution and believe that people should have the right to express themselves. But we also believe in law and order, and we know that, and we hope that tomorrow will be peaceful. We encourage people to be peaceful in them demonstrating how they feel, and we're going to have the adequate forces necessary to ensure that.
First off, I mean, it still keeps pissing me off. We aren't terrorists. We aren't I mean, the narrative that, like you said, has been pushed over in the last 4 or 5 years. Hey, Turning Point USA, you spend some of that money to turn the narrative around. But the narrative that they have put on the people with the red hats, you wear a red hat around here, boy. Now, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I don't like the red hat, because it's red. I wear the white one. I had a nice white one. I mean that had 45 right here and USA. I like that one. That was sweet. But yeah, I mean, again, they're making it like we are the enemy. We are not the enemy. Antifa, Trans-Tifa, they are the ones that are going around here beating up people and slashing people and causing fires and stuff. That's
them and federal employees.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah. You know, what you doing, Billy, tonight? Well, you know, I'm going to hang out with the activists down at what you call it. I'll probably take tomorrow off. That's okay. Just take, I'll see you on Monday. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Since the moment the announcement was made, we have been planning and preparing to ensure that the city of Miami is safe and secure. I can assure all our residents, our stakeholders, and the visitors that are in the city at this time that we are working very closely with our federal, state, and local partners to make sure that we have a comprehensive approach right? That is going to ensure that we maintain not only peace and order, like the mayor said, but that everyone has the right to express themselves and the First Amendment rights. Make no mistake about it, we're taking this event extremely serious. We know that there is a potential of things taking a turn for the worst, but
how? I don't understand how. I mean,
they think they're gonna storm the courthouse and like carry Donald Trump out, like they're not arresting him. Like
Milo.
Yeah, he's gonna be on some Proud Boy's shoulders like a little kid, you know. Like, I mean, is that the image we're thinking we're gonna get? Like,
oh my god,
we're gonna barricade ourselves in Mar-a-Lago. You guys can't have him.
You know, the other thing too, though, is just imagine if you're an obscure mayor of a city or a police chief of Miami or whatever, and all of a sudden you get a letter, hey, they're going to move that Trump trial here. Oh, damn. You know, I think that's kind of what happened here, man. It's like, what, a million people might come here. They're coming from Minnesota.
Sheriff Earl and his two deputies are sitting in the thing. They're like, "Yeah, did you know they raised the price of raisins over at that Target?" Yeah. Wait, hold on, wait. There's something coming in on the facts.
Hey, Barney, go to the arms room and draw another bullet.
Right.
You can take 2 today.
White House speaks out on transgender, topless transgender, and okay.
You invited him there.
Hopefully they condemned it.
Yeah,
that's not the Miami way, right? We have plenty of experience, not only working together.
Wait a minute, I know you didn't. I know you just didn't say that's not the Miami way. Pablo Escobar and all that stuff that was going through. don't narcos, man. Don't even do that. No, don't do that. That ain't the Miami way, man.
No, they made a TV show about the Miami way,
right?
And the second word was vice. That's the Miami way.
That ain't the Miami way, man.
Hello to my little friend.
We have extremely high confidence of the residents and the folks that live here in the city of Miami. They are used to demonstrating. They are used to exercising their First Amendment rights, and they are incredibly respectful and supportive of law enforcement here in South Florida. So even though,
except for during spring break,
we're preparing, we're bringing enough resources to handle crowd anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000. We don't expect any issues.
I mean, they got a job to do. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I know what you're saying, but that has to be something to make you freak out, because nobody said anything about Miami until a couple days ago.
Yeah, well, still they're making us into public enemy number one, and we aren't that. So
either that, or maybe they're talking about the Antifa people, because there's some anti.
They talking about us.
Well, let's get it on then.
They're going to try to start a fight so that MAGA jumps in. And that's what they're worried about. They know that in general, we're all like William Wallace from Braveheart. We're quiet. We're on our farm. We're raising our kids. And you're going to push us too far. And once it gets too far, you are going to be displeased with the results. And
especially in Miami.
Right. I mean, just conservatives. Like, you want to go piss off a bunch of bikers or a bunch of farmers or a bunch of truck drivers.
Believe it or not, Miami's pretty conservative. You got all those Cubans that live there.
Right.
And like I said, that administration's Republican.
Right.
That doesn't happen in cities.
Nope.
Well, if anybody is, I don't know if y'all were asking questions about the New York case, but Lita James just came out and said, well, actually, I got the video. The one where the court case is supposed to be starting next March.
They put it on hold, don't they?
Huh?
I think they put it on hold.
Special counsel has asked for a speedy trial for this. Is this going to intersect with your case at all? How is everybody going to manage the calendar here?
So in all likelihood, I believe that my case, as well as DA Bragg and the Georgia case, will unfortunately have to be adjourned pending the outcome of the federal case. So it all depends upon the scheduling of this particular case. I know there's going to be a flurry of motions to dismiss, discovery issues, all of that. So it really all depends. Obviously, all of us want to know what this Judge Cannon, is going to do, and whether or not she's going to delay this particular case.
Are you concerned about that?
I think everyone is concerned about that. So obviously, it will depend upon the scheduling.
It's a Trump judge, isn't it?
That one is, but that's not who's hearing this down in Miami. This is a magistrate. They changed it at the last minute.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Trump judge.
It was, but they changed it last night.
Oh, they did? I didn't see that.
It's a magistrate at that building you were talking about earlier in Miami. I don't know what her affiliation is. We shouldn't have to worry about that. This is a shame, the situation we're in.
Yeah, think of that. You used to just say, like, oh, you're in front of a judge. Judges are impartial.
We used to say that. Well, almost. Not down in the South. Hang them up.
Right.
Or
good reason for your concern back then.
Or let them go, Whitey. We'll see him on Friday night. So with the situation like this, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just speaking for what I know about the conservative movement. We're not animals. We shouldn't be treated as animals. But I tell you what, you keep on doing it, you're gonna bring out the animal in somebody.
There you go.
That's exactly it.
You know, you keep on,
and they know that.
Yeah, what's that thing? You will manifest whatever you call into you will call into existence the very thing that you keep fearing, and you keep on doing it. Just like white people that aren't racist, they hate to be called racist, but you keep on calling them as that and stuff. You can get fussed out. You can get jacked up. You know, these people are like, I ain't no racist. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I had a bully one time in school. Kept on going after me. I kept turning around, walking away. And it's one day, he just kept pushing me. He just pushed me in the back. He just pushed me in the back, kicked me in the back, pushed me in the back in front of all the little kids and stuff. So one day I turned around. I got tired of it. I turned around and grabbed him by both of his collars and flung them up against the telephone pole. It just so happened to be one of those winter days, because the girl who I was walking home with, after everything was over, she said, "You had smoke coming out of your ears." It just so happened that I think it was the
steam
coming from my mouth. From the back of my head go.
It was a good visual effect, though. That girl thought Wade was the cat's meow, man.
No, but you keep on doing that, and I don't know whether y'all have been in this place before, but like when you're young, you really want to fight, you want to pump, fight. When you get older, you're like, man, I ain't got time for no hand-to-hand combat, man. I ain't got time for that.
Especially nowadays, man. You get a little 15-year-old pulls out a freaking pistol.
Come here, you little punk.
Once you get old enough to realize you can do real physical damage to each other, it's like, I really need to decide when I want to engage in physical violence. You know what I mean? Like, I might win, I might lose, but we're both getting wrecked. It's
like, what'd you call my mom?
Yeah.
I mean, well, she might be that. You can put that. She might put that pistol away. I haven't known her all of her life. I've known her somewhere like, but yeah, I don't have anything good for those people that are going down to Miami. I mean, it's on you. It's on you.
Be safe.
Yeah, I mean, no. I ain't gonna say be that. Understand that's what you should say. I'm not gonna say it. Because if you don't put yourself in harm's way, don't come back and say the FBI was there. Well, you knew that they were going to be there in the first place when you went down there. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Pick your battlefield.
Exactly. I would rather it be a home field advantage than visitor. You the visitor in some other state. This is Joe Biden.
Voluntarily, no one's had to threaten to do anything. Voluntarily open every single aperture I have with the house, offices, everything for them to come and look and spend hours searching my home. Invited them. Nobody. And so, and the best of my knowledge, the kinds of things they picked up are things that from 1974 and stray papers. There may be something else I don't know.
Pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic. And, you're talking about that you open up your house. You just opened up your house. The stuff was there for years. You just opened it up. You didn't just, all those years that it was there, you didn't say, hey, I got stuff at my place. Come on, check it out. You just did it. Then they found some more, and then they found some more. The stuff from the 70s has been there since the 70s. You didn't just say, hey, I got stuff in Delaware. Go check it out. No, you didn't do that. That's so, Joe Biden gave it. No, he did not. He didn't just give it up. He held it for years. And the National Archives didn't say anything about it. National Archives, man.
And according to an article I read earlier, his drug-addicted son had access to the classified documents.
They already did.
He was staying at the house.
He probably rolled it up as a blunt. The
FBI was probably giving him weed.
Junior.
Can I tell a funny transmissioner story too? I'll take that as
no images.
No pictures, man.
No images. Okay, hang on. Let me show you the OnlyFans page. Oh, hang on. No, wait. So yesterday, like when I'm working sometimes on the computer, I'll throw up like YouTube and I watch a lot of historical stuff and like History Channel, that kind of thing. And it'll just like pop through little 20-minute videos and it's just kind of playing in the background, or sometimes I'll throw on like the press conference. Well, yesterday, as YouTube was kind of popping through different things, it played me a History Channel special about lobotomies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it was, and this video was made several years ago, and it was contrasting like, back then, like they thought this was the future of healthcare, and somebody thought it was a good idea to put things up people's nose and cut off part of their brain, and that's going to cure mental illness. And it was funny because they were showing all these medical professionals like standing up, like, yeah, this lobotomy thing, like this is great. Like we just go in there, we cut off part of their brain.
Didn't they do that to Biden?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, then it was funny because then they're contrasting, and like the announcer's like, how are we so stupid that we really thought starting to cut out chunks of brain was a good idea? Like, even though the experts were telling you lobotomy is a great idea, like somebody should have been smart enough to go, this is stupid. Like, really, this is what we're doing. And eventually they outlawed him and whatnot. But then I'm thinking, like, I can't wait for the History Channel show 50 years from now where they're like, can you believe those people in 2023 thought it was a good idea to cut off the reproductive organs of the kids and pump them full of a bunch of hormones, and they cut off a chunk of their arm, and like seriously, like can't somebody just step back and look and go, this is insane, like this is just crazy.
I want to know the first dude in America that bought a freaking slave.
Right.
Look at what he started.
Right.
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, is there? I don't know. Yeah. Somebody did that. So, whose idea was it to own another person? I mean, that ain't going to end well.
Right. But it's funny, some of this stuff you're right in the middle of, and it's like you can't step back and go, this is really a horrible idea. Like, how did we convince ourselves this was a good idea? And you see the transmissioners on the White House lawn, and like some dude who had fake boobs put on him standing there shirtless, and you're like, who on earth thought this was a good path to go down? Like, really? Come on.
Let me just address Martina in her comment. Anybody positive thinking right here, I lost my positivity. If you say that, and it's true, that means the PSYOP worked on you, Martina.
Correct.
So understand what it is. Get up off the knee and get back in the fight. We can't afford to have people going down. I said this last night. What you could do, go fishing or camping for a weekend. Get out of the politics. Go do something that you like. Leave your phone at home. Yeah. And just decompress and live to fight another day. They're doing that to you on purpose.
Yep. They're trying to get you back. You've probably been gone since 2015, 2016. They're trying to get you back. And I don't know how many times that I've said this on the show. I remember watching CNN one time during the Trump administration, and I heard one of, I don't know whether it was Don Lemon or something, but they were like, we keep talking to the Trump supporters. We're telling them this and that, and they're still staying with them. It's like, oh, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to separate Trump supporters from Donald Trump. And then from that point on, you can never unsee it. Everything that they're trying to do, they're trying to get you back into their stable so they can tell you who to vote for in the elections. And if they want to steal it, or if they need to jack up elections for it, or if they need to create pandemic type atmosphere so that you can't walk or drive to the election, that's what they're going to do.
Well, and if you need some positivity, there is some good news. I mean, Target's lost $15 billion from boycotts. Bud Light's no longer Anheuser-Busch no longer the number one beer in America. Last night I saw the Fox News ratings. We touched on them. Like they don't have a show in the top 10 anymore, from what I'm seeing. And I mean, they're getting throttled. And I just saw a little bit ago, I don't know if it's true or confirmed yet, but Starbucks is taking down all their Pride stuff in their stores.
I'll tell you what, San Francisco's hemorrhaging.
Right? Oh, San Francisco's
dying right in front of us, man. I mean, these people have stopped paying their mortgages. I'm talking about big malls and hotels and stuff like that. This is critical.
Yeah, you saw that big mall in San Francisco. Yeah. Like if you've been down there, it's that huge mall downtown. They just gave it back to the bank.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, seriously.
And that's how you get, if you've never Googled Detroit abandoned buildings and did an image search, right, that's what's going to happen to San Francisco. That mall is not going to tear itself down. It's going to sit there and be vacant. The same way with that hotel.
Yeah,
it's going to be a ghost city.
Yeah, and then you're going to have a whole lot of...
all the homeless will be living in there.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you say that about Detroit. I lived there like 20 years ago for a few years. And then I went back like 3-4 years later to visit my buddies. And it's after the auto industry collapsed. I've never seen anything like it. It was it's like nuts. We drove through some of those. It was like the zombie apocalypse. You'd go block after block.
80,000 vacant residences. That's a couple years ago when I checked. And that doesn't include all the skyscrapers.
Right.
I mean, you're talking everything in America is abandoned in Detroit. Hospitals, theaters, police stations, jails, schools.
It feels like you're driving through a movie set.
Right.
Like if you were like, this is The Walking Dead, I'm driving through these neighborhoods, like, and then it would be creepy too, because if you'd like stop at the stop sign, all of a sudden you'd feel like the homeless guys would start coming out, and it was wild.
My son's a firefighter, and he hooked me up with this video that I watched, and a guy in the Detroit fire department said that what I tell my family, if you get a home invasion or something like that, don't call the police. It'll take them 15 minutes to get there. Call 911 and say the house is fully involved and my baby's on the 3rd floor, and somebody will be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a shame when it's like that.
Tasmanian Rebel on Rumble says $1 houses in Detroit.
Yeah,
that's a true story.
I watched this document. Well, it wasn't a documentary. It was a series on Netflix about the Flint, Michigan police, and they were talking about how the drugs were finally hitting Flint and stuff, and it was becoming a hub for drugs, but they didn't have enough police. and they had to talk to the people to get funding for more police. You can't get funding from, you have to talk to the people so they can vote it in. People didn't even vote it in.
It's the same way with all these cities. San Francisco, they're killing themselves and they're voting for it.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Well, in some of the states, it's nice because those cities are just destroying themselves. It could be in Minnesota where they're trying to destroy the whole state. Like they're not just keeping their asinine policies located in those cities. Like
y'all have become Northern West Virginia, man. I swear.
Don't say that. I was thinking of moving to West Virginia.
I mean, they are the test state for government welfare, though. But
really?
Yeah.
I want the compound in the woods with defensible positions and get the chicken farm. We'll be
he gonna live in that holler. That's
that's right.
Drink Mountain Dew.
I got my solar panels. I got my water filtration.
Hey,
We're gonna go hunting varmint.
I saw a story about a guy that made $1 million being a dentist, and he wanted to give back to the community. So he bought a mobile home, and he went to West Virginia.
Yeah,
and went around filling teeth because he was explaining that the reason why their teeth, a lot of people in West Virginia, we make fun of them here in Pittsburgh, right? I love you guys, but I'm just saying. A lot of people have rotten teeth in West Virginia because the number one drink from the time they're a baby is Mountain Dew. The worst pop you could possibly drink.
Oh, that's funny.
It's got double the sugar that everything else has. Yeah. And they created it. What's West Virginia? The Mountain State. We created it for them.
Yep.
There goes our Mountain Dew sponsorship. Thanks, Hutch.
Look, well, I was always told that Mountain Dew messes with the man's productivity, and I used to drink it all the time.
I did too,
and I didn't
Mountain
have no
Dew
kids.
or Jolt, depending on what you could get your hands
Mellow
on.
Yellow.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember Mellow Yellow. Yeah. No, but how about Shasta and Pip? No, I didn't have any kids while I was drinking Mountain Dew. When I stopped drinking Mountain Dew, I had those twins up there. I was like, after that, I was back on Mountain Dew. After that, I was like,
that was like a just saying moment.
Right. Not saying, just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our second break, but we'll be right back.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
It's a crazy world out there, and we're facing more uncertainty than our country has faced in a long time, if ever. And the most important advice that we can give you and your loved ones is be prepared. Most people don't realize they need something until it's too late, whether it's a natural disaster, a sustained power outage, political upheaval, or God forbid, war. You need to be prepared. Don't put yourself in that situation. Have food and water on hand to provide for you and your loved ones during the worst of times, and then pray you never need it. Thankfully, we have just the solution for you. Heaven's Harvest has everything you need to prepare for the unexpected. You get prepared, and you support a pro-America Christian company that shares your values at the same time. Everyone wins. And the best news is you also get discounts on emergency survival foods, heirloom vegetable seed kits, water filtration and storage kits, and loads of other survival resources, such as guides on how to grow and preserve your foods. So get ahead, be prepared, and survive with a company that shares your values. And we have you covered with great discounts. Go to heavensharvest.com and use promo code RVM to save 10%. Again, that's heavensharvest.com and use promo code RVM to save 10% on your order.
And dishonorably on many other occasions, including by falsely denying that his staff coordinated with a whistleblower to launch the first impeachment of President Trump. Whereas part of his impeachment efforts during an HPSCI hearing on September 26, 2019, Representative Schiff recited a false concocted rendition of a phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whereas Representative Schiff exploited his position on HPSCI to encourage and excuse abusive intelligence investigations of Americans for political purposes. Whereas Representative Schiff used his position and access to sensitive information to instigate a fraudulently based investigation, which then he used to amass political gain and fundraising dollars. Whereas the American taxpayers paid $32 million to fund the investigation into collusion that was launched as a result of Representative Schiff's lies, misrepresentations, and abuses of sensitive information. And whereas it is determined by an investigation conducted by the Committee on Ethics that Representative Schiff lied, made representations, and abused sensitive information, he should be fined the amount of $16 million.
Wow. Damn. Hey,
things are actually getting spicy with that.
Hey, the trans influencer was a dude.
Yeah.
The one that looked like a girl was a boy, and the one that looked with fake boobs, and the one that looks like a dude with the beard is a girl, biologically speaking.
Okay, so the dude with breasts, fake breasts, was the one that showed him.
Yeah.
At first glance, you would think it's a girl. Like
that's what it looked like. It looked like a girl.
The surgeon did a nice job. The guy who's a biological male looks like a girl. If you saw him on the thing, you'd be like,
Jason, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm just saying. But what's funny is this morning when there was outrage, he came out and said, this just affirms that I'm a girl because you all thought I was a girl. You can't make this up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I gotta say, you know what? But it does look like a girl.
And did you see the dude next to him? That was a girl that had her boobs cut off.
It's showing like, ew.
The one with her arms flexed.
Right. Yeah, and like hairy chest.
Okay, that one over there. Okay.
More facial hair than me. Like, it was pretty impressive. I mean, who knew science could do that?
Why would science do that?
Right.
And she took a picture with Biden too. He took a picture with Biden.
He was probably sniffing her hair. The whole thing, this whole situation we're in is bizarre, man. Who would have ever thought we'd be here 5 years ago?
That was my point about the lobotomy story. How can we act like this is normal?
I'm fine being single right in today's time, man. I'm serious.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm not 18.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're getting.
I mean,
I really don't.
I'm checking out one of these days anyway.
You'll be sitting there talking to some girl. You'll be like, "Is that an Adam's apple? Are those knuckles? Are those man hands? Yeah. Like, do I got to do a tap check to make sure there's nothing down there?" Like,
jeez, it's foul.
Well, Rose Montoya, I think that's what his name is, flashed her breasts at President Biden's Pride Party, has been banned from the White House, from ever going back to the White House ever again. As the White House called the stunt inappropriate and disrespectful. What they mean to say, you should have did it on the inside, not the outside. You should have done it on the inside. You did it on the outside, then, that kind of.
I wonder if Dylan Mulvaney was there.
Probably, right?
I don't
she
think
got the same name as Mick Mulvaney.
I know,
New haircut. Although I gotta say to fact check Dylan Mulvaney, like he's been a girl, I'm doing the quotes, for over a year. I don't think he's on the pills and stuff because he still looks like a 90-pound dude who
he's a phony,
wears
man.
makeup. I don't think he's fully committed, is what I'm saying.
He's like that freaking homeless person begging in the street that makes $60,000 a year.
Yeah,
right.
He goes and puts those clothes on there as props.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny to say that. I was joking with a friend of mine. Like, remember when they used to do that, like, behind the music story on, like, MTV or whatever, and they talk about bands from 20 years ago? Like, 10 years from now, there's going to be a Netflix special about Dylan Mulvaney, and it'll be like, yeah, it's just this washed-up actor on Broadway, and then one day I dressed up like a girl and danced around. I got 1 million views on TikTok, so I'm like, I'm going with it.
I'm sorry. This trend.
Still staring at that picture.
No, Brett. I mean, I'm reading the story. Hutch.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Right. I'm reading the article.
I'm reading the story.
I love Penthouse has such great stories. I love it.
Have you read that letters to the editor section? That was great.
It says Montoya grew up the daughter of a pastor.
Son.
Well, it says here a daughter in a small farm town in Idaho. and she's had, you know how we say that these U.S. departments tell you exactly who they are, drug and tobacco enforcement type of thing,
Drug Administration,
gender affirming surgery. Think about that, gender affirming. They named it gender affirming, as in they are making you this to affirm you are
correcting
that.
it, correcting it. Yeah.
Well, she had 3. She had 3 gender affirming surgeries.
Okay, you don't really have to go into. How do you have 3?
She had 3. Yeah.
Okay, I got the top part. Got the bottom part. What's the third one?
Probably plastic surgery, like,
Adam's Apple Reduction Act.
Yeah, things like that. If I had to guess.
I can't take it serious, man.
It's like
butt injections.
Why are you wearing a scarf and it's like 120 some degrees outside? What's going on with that?
It was funny. I saw another conservative influencer who was describing on their channel what bottom surgery was and the purpose of it, like just anatomically. He's like, it involves cutting this and doing that for the purpose of this, and his YouTube channel got nuked. It was like, this is offensive, and it's like he literally described the medical procedure.
That's nasty to me, man. That's like, to me, they're playing God,
right?
That's not good. I mean, the whole thing is, what were we taught when we were young? That we were created in the image of Christ. You're supposed to love yourself, and you look at this stuff. Our kids hate themselves, and they've been taught that. They have literally been programmed to hate themselves.
I remember my whole life, like when I saw people get plastic surgery, I always thought, God, that's stupid. Like, God made you a certain way. Like, if you want to look a little different, like, why? You'd see people like get those facelifts and they look like they were in a wind tunnel. And I'm like, man, it's one thing if you want to lose some weight or color your hair, but geez Louise.
You know what? I want to say one more thing about this Rose Montana thing.
We know what Wayne's doing this afternoon. He's checking out her Instagram.
Oh, really? Seriously? No, but that MS-13 can't wait to get over here to get that. MS-13 don't like that mess.
Neither do the Muslims.
That's yeah, oh man. And she's in Los Angeles. That's the one thing that Minnesota probably doesn't have is a whole lot of transmissions because you got a lot of Muslims up there. So
are you kidding? We have like 3 that serve in the state Senate.
It's just all the way shot.
Yeah, it is. Like, there is a part of Minneapolis that unless you're like, we call it Little Somalia, literally. Like, white dude, if you stop there, park, and like, I'm going to go into the convenience store, like, you don't do that. But they stay in their area, and then there's other parts of Minneapolis where other people congregate. Yeah, you have no idea. It's everything you've heard is an understatement. Like, it's insane. Now, where I live, we're normal. We can go have lunch. I can wear a Trump shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is, oh my gracious, that is going to happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah, there we go. The only reason why I'm talking over it is so that
It's down.
Yeah, there we go. That's what you hear in Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen. 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And one of those times is in the morning. I can't, man, I swear. The first time
I think it's 5 times a day.
Is it 5?
Something like that.
5 times a day.
I was asleep. My first night in Saudi Arabia, I was asleep. Everybody in the house was asleep. I was in it. I was calling the dogs. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard it. And nobody in the house got up except me. I was like, what is that? Because I mean, I ain't never seen anything like that before. I ain't never heard anything like that before. Even in the churches that I grew up, I never heard anything like that before. I go out, I'd look out the back door, and it was somebody on the intercom at 2 something in the morning doing that. I had to ask my roommates the next when he woke up. Did y'all hear that? Oh yeah, that's just them. They're praying at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're praying.
Oh man, you see John Wayne how he reacted to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the
Every now and then I act out.
Well, here's what's crazy too. If you want to be a Muslim and you want to practice your Muslim faith, go for it.
Somewhere else.
We don't need the city. Like, you're not going to broadcast my church's church service over the loudspeakers and all of downtown Minneapolis.
We ought to start doing it. We need to start moving into their communities and start broadcasting our church services 5 times a day on the loudspeaker. We should be able to do that.
I'll tell you, the thing that bothers me the most about these people is I saw a couple the other day at a pizza shop. If you ever see halal on a pizza shop window, don't go in there. All right, I'm just saying.
I got to ask you. Okay, go ahead. No. I got to ask you a question about the halal meat, though.
I seen what they do is the guys dress like Americans, T-shirt, baseball cap, little son, same thing. Woman's wrapped up from head to toe in that hijab and stuff, right out in public. I mean, they have no regard for women at all. It's like, do that somewhere else, because if you come here, these woke people are not going to prosecute you. You're going to be A-okay to do that, but they're going to prosecute us. If that makes any sense. It's sickening because nobody ever stands up to them.
Well, and it does bring up a good point too, that, I mean, that's part of why we have such a problem exporting our beliefs around the world. If you go to Muslim countries, like, they practice Sharia law, and that is, Americans would find that not okay. So when you bring our laws in there, like, that's part of the Afghanistan thing. Like, let's have women serve in government. Let's let women drive cars. Let's do that. Like they don't want that. Like, culturally, the men don't. Now, there's people in the country that want it and that sort of thing. I'm just saying, historically, that's how they lived. So, I mean, it is what it is.
A lot longer than us.
Right.
I came for those that are spiritual, for those that are in church, for those that were raised in the church, came across a video this morning. And this is back from 1977, actually. It's back 1997. I was like, I mean, I had to go search him out to see if he was still alive. He is alive, but I want you to check this out.
It become so blurred until we got gospel singers singing secular music and secular singers singing gospel music and preachers looking like motivational speakers and motivational speakers trying to look like preachers and psychics trying to be prophets and prophets acting like psychics, and we're standing out here in the middle and we don't know where to go. The gospel music industry is filled with singers who have no pastor, who do not go to church, but they have an agent who acts as a pimp to prostitute their gift to anybody who will pay the right amount of money. I may never get to come back, but I'm gonna preach tonight.
This is where I've been for a long time. I've watched the decline of the church, and it wasn't just with the taxes. It's just that I always thought, I was taught from my father and mom that the church is supposed to be the lighthouse in darkness. It's supposed, you might be blinded. You living in darkness. You see the light. You're drawn to it. You go inside. It's something that you say, hey, you know what? I want to change my life. This is where I want to be, instead of going back out into darkness. And then you change. That's what I thought it was supposed to be. Somewhere then in the 80s, going to the 90s and into the 2000s, and look what we got now. The church was infiltrated by secular. The lines were blurred. Instead of going out and bringing them in, they invited them in, and when they got in, they took over. It's the same thing that happened with the CCP. The CCP was invited in to the country. Yeah, start your business here, start your business here. Next thing you know, they're buying off people in Congress. It's same thing in the church. People are getting bought out, people getting used, and it just tears the nation apart at the seams. And then one day you wake up, you go outside, you look to the left and you look to the right in your neighborhood, and you're like, where am I? I don't, I the stuff that you put on TV, the stuff that you turn on the radio. We were a while ago, we were talking about AM radio. AM radio used to hear back in the day, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, early 80s. You could listen to gospel talk shows, English talk shows and stuff all night long and stuff. Now today you turn on AM, you think you're in Mexico. You think you in Taiwan. You don't understand none of that stuff, And if you do, it's from like maybe 5 or 6 states over.
The problem with the church is they lost their mission. Their mission was spreading the word of God and teaching the word of Jesus Christ. Yeah, and if you think about how you referred to, like, it should be talking about like connecting with God and the Bible and that kind of stuff, not connecting with my church. Church was where I went to connect with God. And I think at some point people started identifying more with God. It's kind of the same thing in the government. The government was just there to protect our liberties that God gave us. The government was never there to do everything for us or to manage our lives. And we've lost that central purpose, where the government's just there to make sure that we don't get invaded and that people aren't, damaging each other. But now people think the government is this entity that's supposed to make our life better. That was never the intention.
Right.
And they've fostered that throughout the generations.
Right.
To where every generation that comes next is more dependent on the government. I can't believe that poll that I saw that, and I'm not a big poll guy, but they tend to trend. And you've got young Americans that want to have government surveillance cameras in their houses.
Right.
Like more than half of the people they polled. And I don't know if they went to Berkeley University for that poll or what, but that's a failure of us teaching what America is. I think that's a big part of it too.
Well, yeah, American was founded because a bunch of pissed off farmers decided that they didn't want an overreaching government. They just want freedom to pursue life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Like, that's what they wanted. They said, we're done with big government. We don't want to deal with you. We don't want to pay taxes. We don't want all this stuff. And the things the federal government's done the last 50 or 100 years is as un-American as it could be.
Yeah. When after the show is over and after the day is done, you grab your family members and you give them a hug and you remind them how much you love them. You remind them just how much that you see God in them, and they should never lose that God in them, because once you lose the God in you, then you're like these trans people. You're like these crazy people without a direction. So you want a solution? There's your solution. Don't
you know what happens when you lose them? When you lose them, you end up having high-level elected officials selling out their country to Chinese communists.
Yep.
That's what you get for a couple bucks. They do that. They're willing to put their self above and beyond their country. It's disgusting, and it's a lack of God as a direct result.
Is this old? Is that old? Wait a minute. I want to make sure. When is this? Oh, this is today. Is this today? This is today. Donald Trump. The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he needs a personality transplant, and those aren't available yet. Almost all congressmen and women that served with him and knew him well supported me. Some of them, surprisingly. Did you see that he is now going against the conservative judges that Donald Trump chose? After he got on stage and praised Donald Trump for making the choices?
Well, he's realized he can't get anywhere on COVID. He tried COVID and that didn't go anywhere.
As we told you he was gonna, by the way.
Right. So now he's going to try the justices. There was something else, that First Step Act that Trump put in,
I saw that. Right.
Which was criminal justice reform. Everybody's got an opinion. I thought there were some good pieces of the legislation, and I thought it was a good outreach to the African American community who was most negatively impacted by the unfair enforcement of the law. But yeah, he came out against that.
Personally, I'd like to see us stop doing that. I think it's a waste of time to reach out to the African American community. Just be who you are, and if they want our way of thinking, they'll join us. You know,
the reason why I think it's a bad thing is because you really don't want him part of the Republican Party. You really don't, because if you did, you wouldn't make fun of him. I've seen that. I've seen it many times. I've seen innocent people, really innocent people, when they get in trouble, the first thing you do, you look into their history and then you pull up something. Well, guess what? They've been in jail. What happened to that time right then, right there? Did they do anything right there? You know, it's like they don't want Democrats to have the black vote.
But you know, I'm not saying that it's wrong to try to get more people on our side. I don't like the idea of targeting races.
Right.
I don't like the idea of let's go try to get some black voters, because you're going to say phony stuff if you do that.
That's what I'm talking about. They don't want them though.
Well,
then we don't want them.
And the reason why
I'm talking about the Republican Party really doesn't want. It's like Fox News. It's like Fox News. Fox News doesn't really need anybody else to watch. Well, at the time, they didn't need anybody else to watch because they were number one. They didn't need to change anything. They're number one.
It's like the RNC.
Yeah,
their mission is successful every 4 years.
They don't need to do anything.
No, they don't need to win an election.
Here's why I like criminal justice reform, and I'll probably be in the minority. I looked at what we did with the war on drugs and the criminalization of it, almost like the Tuskegee experiments to the African American community. And I looked at fixing those wrongs that the CIA and all those people that, they created this drug problem. They were very involved in the trafficking. They targeted inner cities, and like undoing some of those wrongs, I supported. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I don't think I'm not for putting people in prison unless they do something wrong.
Right.
But the way the federal criminal court is, all you need is one snitch, and you're going for 25 years.
Even
if
no parole is lying. Even
if
it's lying, you know.
That's the only way you can get out of it, is provide me another snitch.
Yeah.
Right.
You go tell on somebody. That's the way it works.
It's terrible.
Jason, give me some last thoughts.
Well, I got to say, we touched on a few things today, but the news is popping. Everybody's watching Trump in Florida, but they introduced a $16 billion censor on Adam Schiff. There was actually articles of impeachment issued on Joe Biden. The Senate hearings today, I've been tweeting out some videos of that today. Like, those are spicy. They're talking COVID and the misinformation. Like, don't get distracted just by Trump. There's a lot going on.
And that's the reason Trump's going on, is to distract you from it.
Oh, I didn't even talk about the 17 phone calls. Like, it just came out. Chuck Grassley, who is not one for exaggeration. He is the most calm guy. He's like, I got a whistleblower. The forms say there's 17 calls that the dude in Ukraine recorded involving the thing with Burisma. And the FBI knew it when they were doing the impeachment on Trump, and they scrubbed it from the documents they gave the
and Bill Barr knew it.
Bill Barr knew it too.
I gotta give it up to Grassley. Grassley has been on that Hunter Biden and FBI thing from day one. I gotta give it up to him. He's caught him out. Hutch, go ahead. Last thoughts.
Oh, just can't wait to get to tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy yourself. I'm paying attention to RFK Jr. a little bit more. He's getting some traction, I think. Especially if he links up with Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. This is going to be a fun election.
You know what? That's why I felt like that last week. I was like, man, if Fox News don't understand what they're doing. They put them on there, and I was like, he gonna pull some people. I'm serious. You don't have to be on everything. You don't have to agree to support everything. If you just support that one major thing that these people are looking for, you got it.
COVID.
Exactly. I'm telling you, we'll be back tomorrow. Go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say one last thought. What if we have a 4-way election? What if Biden and DeSantis win the nomination and Trump says, screw it, I'm running third party, and Kennedy says, screw it, I'm running fourth party? How wild would that be?
They'd find a way to shut it down.
I'm just saying, it's setting up that way.
Somehow they would be like, you don't have you're not in this state, but you're in that state. You're not in that state, but you're in that state. So
the RNC and DNC would screw that all up.
Oh man, they would fight tooth and nail to stop that. But it would be fun though. You are
long as we win in the end.
Well, you got 30% of the Democrats that are like firmly for Kennedy and hate Biden, and you got like 30% of us that are firmly for Trump, and so then that leaves another like 60% for the establishment guys. I don't know.
I gotta say, my guy is Trump. I would never vote for a Democrat, but I do like Kennedy.
Country could help the country.
Yeah, right? I do like Kennedy, but like you said, Kennedy and
Gabbard. That's smoke. That's smoke.
That is smoke.
That's smoke.
Oh my God.
Would you vote for Kennedy and Gabbard over DeSantis and somebody?
Nope.
I would.
Not me. Kennedy's too freaking environmental.
Hey, there are some conservatives that look at Massey. Massey has an electric car. So hey, look.
I'm not a big Massey fan.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to be honest. If I'm standing in the box, my choice is Kennedy or DeSantis. That's not a no-brainer.
I'm not sure yet. I'd have to think. I never thought about that.
I ain't voting for DeSantis. I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
When I think of DeSantis, the thing I think of is all the people that used to be on our side that are pulling that rope now. That just pisses me off to know.
Right?
I can't do it.
If I were voting today, I don't know how I could vote for DeSantis. I'm just saying it'll be.
I write my name in.
Yeah,
I ain't doing it.
Manny Dupree for president.
I'm doing it right. I'll do it. And as a matter of fact, I have 2 more votes because then my daughters will vote for me too. Talk to you later.
You're up to 5.